Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Maximum Extreme Podcast. My name is Bobby Stryker, and
I'm Keith. Nearly forgot about me there, didn't you?
Yep. And this week, we're going to be discussing this summer's biggest movie, Pacific Rim. Yeah! That's right. You're listening to the Maximum Extreme Podcast. Booyah-bays. Yeah. Hot diggity dog. Yeah.
Okay. You might as well just take over. This is obviously just a platform for your craziness.
It always is. Yeah. Pacific. Yeah. So how's things? You okay?
Yes, good. Yeah, it's good. Same old, same old.
Yeah, I see Yao and Jules can't join us yet again.
Why? What are they doing? Where are they?
Jules is preparing some kind of presidential presentation, I think. She's going to be presenting at the UN to discuss some new cooling measures to help, save the planet from doom.
What?
Yes. And then I made all of that up. I heard she's busy. And Yao, the last time I heard of Yao, apparently he'd been buried alive in a coffin and he was trying to escape. He had about 30 seconds left, and for some reason the 9 button had been removed, so he couldn't call the police. So he called me, and I just made fun of him, and then the phone cut off, so I'm not really sure what the conclusion of that was. Yeah, so...
He's dead.
Nah, it's Yao. Nothing can happen to Yao. I'm sure he's fine.
Don't worry, he'll be easy to replace anyway, so...
So Pacific Rim. So what?
Yeah!
Okay. So what did you think of it?
It was awesome! Oh my god! It was so good.
I can't tell if you're kidding. Are you serious?
I'm not. It was so good. Oh my god! I don't even know where it came from.
I'm still not sure if you're kidding. Are you being sarcastic?
No, I'm not. It was amazing. I loved it.
Pacific.
It was the best thing all year. I'm not kidding. It was the best thing.
What, better than Olympus Has Fallen?
Well, that was one of the worst things ever in the history of mankind.
That's because you haven't seen White House Down. You would have been saying that otherwise.
Oh my god, why? Have you seen that?
Of course I have. Oh, it's like whatever I thought had made Olympus Has Fallen good, remove that, and then you have something like what White House Down is.
I might like it then.
Yeah, I really don't think you will.
Even there were more knives going through skulls and stuff in this one.
No, there just wasn't much of anything going on. And I'll tell you, all right, as usual, everything we talk about in this podcast includes spoilers. Look, I'll tell you what's funny about White House Down is that, because we did the podcast, you'll hear it with me and Jules where we break it down. But in the White House Down, it's like they kidnapped the president, right? He's hostage in the White House somewhere. So what they do is they just elect a new president. So that immediately kind of makes, okay, so everything that's going on kind of doesn't matter.
That's more realistic, because people were saying that about Olympus Has Fallen. They were saying they'd just get a new president instead of putting the whole country and world at risk.
But in Olympus, it all happened so fast that within the end of the night, he'd kind of managed to save the day anyway. Whereas this, it's like drawn out. The president's changed twice. So while Jamie Foxx is the president, a new president is elected. That doesn't work out. So then they elect another one. And just the whole thing is just a farce.
Yeah, we should all take it in turns to become president.
Yeah, I think. And yeah, so let's forget that. That's been we've talked about that film way too much more than it deserves. So let's focus on the Pacific Rim job. Yeah. So are you familiar with Guillermo del Toro? Guillermo.
Oh, I know he did like Pan's Labyrinth and stuff and Hellboy.
Have you seen?
I think I've seen Pan's Labyrinth, but I can't remember a thing. It must have been a while ago.
Did you like it?
I remember I liked it, but I don't remember much else.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It won Oscars and stuff. He's got quite a lot of good films. I just posted a review for Pacific Rim on the site, and talk about him. He's a pretty cool director, and he's got a really unique kind of visual style, which is really, it's really him. So when you see it, you know straight away, this is probably a Guillermo del Toro film. I really like Pan's Labyrinth. Thought that was really cool. And some of his other films are pretty cool. The Devil's Backbone's a good thriller. Then there's Kronos, which is his take on the whole vampire thing, which is pretty cool as well. Then, I like the Hellboy films. They're, pretty fun. Then you got this. It was just his first, huge kind of, big budget craziness, where I think they just said, hey, here's the money, you can just do what you want. Or he said, let me just do what I want. And he just did what he wanted. And then we've got this kind of old school robots versus giant monsters in the vein of those old Japanese Godzilla movies and all that kind of stuff, and the mecha robot warrior movies and manga cartoons and all that kind of stuff. And it's pretty cool. I mean, basically it's a film about giant monsters attacking Earth from some kind of dimensional tear, and nothing's explained, which makes it even better because no one cares, right? What you want to see is giant robots beating the crap out of giant aliens, and that's what it is, and it's awesome. Okay, so what made it awesome? Why did you like this more than, say, Man of Steel, which is the other big movie this summer, right?
Well, because there's just too many points, but everything was just done so well. I know it's all right, let's get one thing straight. It's just a fun movie, okay? So, and I think the best way to enjoy any movie is kind of to appreciate what it stands for and what it is. So, if you want to, delve into people's psyches and you want loads of character development and stuff, this isn't the film for you. But if you want to see robots destroying aliens, then this is the film for you. And in that respect, that's what makes it so good, is that's what it is. And I just loved it. I didn't see it coming either. I mean, I didn't really hear about this movie until recently. I didn't know it was being made. I only saw the trailer. My first glimpse was the trailer when I went and saw Man of Steel.
Yeah.
And I saw the trailer and I thought, okay, this looks like a pile of poo. I was like, I've had enough of this kind of worlds being destroyed, cities being destroyed kind of rubbish. It's been done to death now. But then, you said, let's go watch and we can do a podcast and stuff. Yeah. And I went in and I wasn't expecting anything. I was really tired after work and everything. And then as soon as it started, I was hyperactive for the whole of the movie because it was so enjoyable. Hey. And it's just, the whole thing is just amazing. So I could talk about it all day, but as soon as it starts, within the first 30 seconds, you've seen they just throw you into the action. So within the first 30 seconds you're in the action, it's here's what happened. Aliens started attacking. We built these robots to destroy them. And then you just fast forward to, to the kind of crescendo moment where, human beings are at the precipice of being extinct. And, this is the kind of last stand against the aliens. So you're in that setting from the beginning, and it's just completely action-packed all the way. Yeah, and I just loved it. I think I just loved it. I mean, I can't say enough good things, but I just loved it. It was a gut instinct. Yeah.
That's cool, man. It sounds like it hit the right notes with you. So, like you said just now, you're bored of seeing all these kind of robots and transformers and all this kind of stuff. And I think a lot of people are. So what stops this falling into the same traps? What separates it in your mind? Well, why isn't this a pile of crap like the recent Transformers movies?
Well, I have to be honest, I didn't really like the Transformers movies, any of them. I didn't even like the first one very much.
Okay.
I just thought I thought the first one was really boring, and it was just I felt like the humans as well in Transformers, they had a kind of, I don't know, it felt like, on one hand, it feels like they're totally helpless, but then again, they start destroying the Transformers, so why do you need the Autobots anyway? So that didn't make sense. And another thing is, it didn't, I don't know, I don't know, it's been a long time since I've seen the Transformers, I suppose, but I didn't like the story, I suppose. I liked this story, but I didn't like the Transformers story as much. I think that was the main thing. I just thought the whole movie was really boring. Yeah. It was just about some kid, and then a lot of the movie was about that kid, and I didn't really enjoy looking at that kid. And
I think that was a common complaint. A lot of people they were hoping that it would be something like you remember the 86 cartoon Transformers the movie?
Yeah, I saw it again a couple of weeks ago, actually.
See, that's amazing. Even now, I love that.
Because I stumbled across it on YouTube, and I was like, I'll just, have a quick look at it for old time's sake.
It's
and
really
then I watched
good.
the whole thing. Yeah. And the music's kick-ass.
Yeah, so if they
and
just
the music
made-
in this is kick-ass.
Yeah,
as
so
well.
if they made a live action adaptation of the 86 cartoon, then they'd have a winner on their hands. But they made it.
That's what I was hoping for when it first came out.
Yeah, but they made it really centered around, like you said, the human characters, which kind of defeated it all, and everyone hated it as a result. That's why the new one, it doesn't have that Shia LaBeouf or whatever his name is in it.
Good.
Yeah,
But
so we'll see.
another thing is, though, that I haven't seen the last Transformers, but apparently it was a complete shambles, and apparently the action was really badly shot. And one thing that is amazingly well done in this movie is that the action sequences, they're so well shot. I don't know how they did it, but it was like perfect.
I loved it as well. I thought it was great. You get introduced to these crazy robots. It's just like watching those cartoons and all those movies that we used to watch as kids, those cartoons of big robots fighting, but it's just real.
I can't put my finger on it.
It's
I can't put my finger on it, but it had for me, it had references to all sorts of stuff, like all sorts of cartoons, all sorts of movies.
Yeah, it was just cool. But it was like real, and the special effects are amazing. And then the characters, the way you're introduced to the lead, and he's like torn apart from his brother. Immediately, you're kind of given some kind of emotional connection with the lead characters, and I liked how it set up. And even the parts where there weren't monsters fighting, there were people fighting, and I like that. There's a bit of martial arts thrown in, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I liked how that woman, Kikuchi
Mako.
Mako. What's her real name? Rinko Kikuchi. Yeah, so she was quite cool, and then that developed a connection there. Then, they learned to pilot the thing together, and they needed each other. And she was the only one who could pilot the machine with him, and you need two pilots because one human brain isn't enough to handle being able to manage the logistics of handling and piloting these things. So it's really cool. I like that. But for me, after reading all these reviews, they're saying it's really cool, try and see it on the biggest screen that you can. So I went to see it on IMAX 3D, and it starts off really cool. Like the setting is so big, it fills your entire field of view. So it feels like you're there, like in that first bridge scene with the first kaiju attacks. And I was like, wow, it's really cool. But then as soon as the action kicked in, the fight scenes, then it became a chore. Like, I had to physically turn my head to look at different parts of the screen and stuff, and then there was interspersed with them piloting it, and then it was in the night time, so some of the scenes were a bit confusing for me. Like, I didn't know what I was looking at. Those flashes of lights, things moving, monsters, then robots, then inside the cockpit, and then so I was hoping for more daytime fight scenes, so I could see in the brilliance of like sunny daylight, these things kicking each other's butts and stuff. So I felt maybe too many of the fights were in the dark, in the nighttime. And then
I think later on in the movie they were more during the night, weren't they?
Yeah, so I was hoping for more day fights. And then of course they go underwater, and then it's all quite dark and stuff as well. So that was one kind of gripe for me. But just looking at the trailers and stuff, it doesn't look as like dark as what it seemed to me watching it in 3D. So I don't know if it was a fault watching on the screen that I did. So I really want to see it again, because I really enjoyed it, and I liked the characters. I liked the music. The music was amazing. Like
I love the music.
The main theme tune is such a badass theme tune. Like when you hear it, your heart starts pumping, and you want to start kicking ass. Like you could listen to it when you work out, or like if you're imagining. It's the kind of music you imagine would be playing if you were like saving the day from loads of bad guys, like in some terrorist hostage situation, and you were like the hero. that would be playing on the sound system. It's like really badass. It's really cool. So overall, I really loved it. But I think maybe if you're going to watch it in IMAX, make sure you get the most far back seat as you can, or maybe even just watch it in a normal 3D screen, because I think for me, actually, that ruined it a little bit, watching on a screen that's too big. I just couldn't take it all in. So I really want to watch it again on either a normal digital screening or a normal 3D screening. I think it will look better, and I'll be able to appreciate it more. But
I just watched it on a normal 3D screen, and it was fine for me.
Yeah, you didn't have any of that issues, did you?
No.
So it's cool. It had Ron Perlman, the Hellboy guy, in it. He was quite funny as the underground kind of dealer that the scientist guy was trying to liaise with. What's his name? Charlie, right? Charlie Day, the scientist. He's quite funny. I like him. He's from that. What is it? Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Was he the day man?
Is it? The day man and the night man. That's genius.
We should put a link to that video.
The day man. Oh, that's genius. That's like the best episode.
But that's the thing, like since we're talking about there are two scientists, right? Him and another guy called Gottlieb.
The weirdo.
And they're kind of, they're kind of like, I guess they're the comedy act, aren't they? Mm-hmm. They're like mad scientists and stuff. But because I didn't, like, again, I'm going to say again, I didn't really know what to expect from the film. But another thing that you realize as soon as it starts is that it's a kind of fun film. It's not serious. There's like a lot of humor in it, and yeah, it's like the vibe of it's like really tongue in cheek and stuff. And I really enjoyed that as well. I didn't want it to be serious. I didn't want it to be a serious movie about giant robots beating up aliens. So I think they got the tone of it right. And like, I can see some people would be quite annoyed with these like comedy acts, but I think it was just good fashioned fun. I think a lot is gonna
like for me, it didn't come across as. I don't know. I didn't think it was like not serious, but I didn't think it was silly either. So the balance was good. I thought, I took it pretty seriously, it's this situation, but it's kind of light-hearted seriousness. Like they don't, they believe in what they're doing. They don't make fun of it. It's not like camp and stuff.
But it's not like, because they could have easily have made it kind of like Dread or something, where it's like, a dystopian future, industrial themed and kind of like a heavy kind of atmosphere, but it's not. It's really light-hearted for what it is, and I like that. It was a fun movie.
What did you think of the robots?
They're awesome. Are you kidding me? I don't know what to say about them apart from they're just awesome. I wish they were real. They're so cool.
Do you reckon we'd be good at piloting them, seeing as we're bros?
I think maybe by myself I'd be pretty good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. By yourself. I'd be like Idris Elba and the main guy, Charlie Hunnam, is probably one of the few people who's ever been able to pilot one solo. You, on the other hand, I don't know. You'd be a liability. But what do you think of the whole having two pilots? Did you like that concept?
Yeah, I didn't question it, and I don't think it needs to be questioned, but I thought the science and physics behind it was, cool. And I like the twist of it, because the idea is that you need two people to pilot one robot, because the kind of like neural load is too much for one person. So you need like one person to control one hemisphere of the robot and another pilot to do the other hemisphere. And I bought it, and it was interesting that they didn't leave it at that. It was an integral part of the movie, because you have to kind of connect minds to pilot these things. So you share memories and you share thoughts. They call it drifting, don't they? So you drift with each other, and it was good because it added to the story. It was like Beckett could, the main protagonist could see, like Mako's pest, and that's how, they find out that, Idris Elba is, kind of adopted her and stuff. But also later on in the movie, they used that same technology to find out where the alien's coming from, and, what kind of society they're from and stuff like that. So it wasn't just like a flippant thing and they forgot about it. It was an integral part of the movie. So I thought it was done really well.
Yeah, I liked it. It felt believable, and I liked it because it helped to create some kind of emotional connection between the viewers and the characters, because you could feel their kind of connection and their loss and these kinds of things. So I liked that. It helped to...
Yeah, and it was a good way to help, because they had flashbacks in those, didn't they?
Yeah, so it was
cool.
You
could quickly see like their upbringing. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
You could quickly see where they're from and their upbringing and stuff. And there was one of the main scenes was through one of the drifts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that
it
was
really
that was a
cool,
really
yeah.
cool scene. The one where she's a little girl.
Yeah, yeah.
And the little
Yeah.
girl's acting in that scene is so good, because it was probably all just blue screen or whatever, right? Or green screen, and she's just crying. It's really cool. So
I love that bit because it shows her as a little girl, Mako as a little girl,
Yeah.
and then Idris Elba kills one of the aliens, and then he emerges. I love that scene, and he's got like the sunlight behind him and everything. It's like,
there's like no need for him to come out.
yeah.
But how do you say his name? Is it Idris or Idris?
I think it's Idris, isn't it?
Is it Idris?
I don't know.
It's a good movie for Brits then, because the main lead, Charlie Hunnam, who played Rayleigh, is it Rayleigh Beckett?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Brit as well. But I didn't know that. I only knew that after watching the film, because I've seen him in Sons of Anarchy and a few other like US stuff. So yeah, he was pretty good in it, and I like the martial arts in it. I thought that was pretty cool. I liked him when he beat up the other guy.
Yeah.
The kind of
And another thing, like you touched on, another thing I loved was it is an international movie. For once in my lifetime, it's not about America saving the world. It's like a concerted effort by everyone. So it's not like Armageddon, where they just send a rocket, where NASA sends a rocket full of like American idiots to save the planet, and the rest of the world's like just accepts it. This is like it's so cool. Like they have a robot from China, which is completely different from the robot from Russia. And each one is really like international, and the whole world's like fighting together. It was like really cool. And I like that each robot had its own style, didn't it? So the Chinese one was really cool. I wanted to see more of the Chinese one. It looked really awesome, like a ninja robot.
The Russian one was funny because it was just really old school Russia. Like he's so strong and like tough, and he's got that funny shaped head and everything. It was
meant to be like a tank or submarine or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then Idris has that Independence Day style speech. That was pretty cool. I preferred this because even like after one of their kind of successes, he immediately kind of brings back the reality. Is like, look, but we can't celebrate. We lost like 2 crews today, which in the other films you would never hear that. It would just be celebrations and happy days. He's like, no, it's not time to celebrate. We lost 2 good crews today. This is a time for us to get ready. And I like that. So that kind of that made it cool. I didn't know, like you said, to an extent I didn't know what to expect. But then when I saw his involvement, Idris, I was thinking he was going to be the lead. So I would have liked to have seen him doing more like ass kicking in it. But I'm not complaining. I liked the lead. I thought he was pretty cool.
I heard that there were, because I think Del Toro wanted to do another movie, but it kind of fell apart, so he made this movie, and he almost got Tom Cruise or something to play Idris's part.
Yeah. It was originally, I think, Tom Cruise. It was visioned. I don't think
that would have been any good, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Tom Cruise making that speech, we are going to cancel the apocalypse. He just wouldn't have resonated as much. No, but this is the bad thing. This is sad because at the box office, so far it's not doing that good.
Isn't it?
No, it's been up against this weekend.
Grown Ups
2, which the first one was abysmal, and I've heard the second one's even worse. And then Despicable Me 2, which is all right. Despicable Me 2 is good, but it's been out for a while, so I would have hoped that Pacific Rim would have at least destroyed Grown Ups 2. I really don't know what's going on there. And that's a real kick in the teeth for filmmakers who want to make original, new stories which are not sequels.
That's another thing I loved about this. It's like new. It's not a reboot or anything. It's not new.
Yeah, it's not a sequel. I mean, okay, people can say that the whole robots fighting monsters, the concept isn't new, but this isn't a sequel or anything. He's written a story with, characters and themes and technology that he's made himself, and it's not some hash attempt at a franchise. It ends and it finishes. There's no lingering cliffhangers like, oh, there's going to be another 20 films. It's just a complete entity, which is really kind of rare these days. So if this doesn't do well, that's really sad for like fresh filmmaking. So I hope people out there, if you're listening, go and watch it. God damn it, watch it.
Go and watch it with your friends, and if you don't have friends, make some friends. Go watch it. Get rid of those friends. Make some more friends and go make them watch it as well.
Yeah, and start a pyramid watching this movie. So rating, what would you give it out of 5?
Probably a 4.5. I loved it. I know
good,
it
man.
sounds harsh because we just talked about Man of Steel recently, but for me, this is actually way better.
It
on
does
so many levels.
It does put things in perspective. I mean, if you hit the site, I did give them both 4 out of 5, but there's a spectrum of 4. Yeah, it's not just like 4 all not. It's like, how can I put it? It's like the 80 to 90%. 70 to 90% range.
Exactly.
That's the 4 out of 5 bracket. So Superman would probably be more at the lower end of the bracket. This would be at the higher end. Because this is the only film this summer that I actually really want to watch again. So
yeah, I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna make my girlfriend watch it. It's so good.
Yeah, so people should check it out. I'm really saddened to hear the whole box office malarkey. It's done much better in the rest of the world than it has done in the US. So hopefully people get their act together. I mean, it's the best out of all the summer blockbusters. The only 2 like big-ish films left now are Wolverine, which I think people aren't really holding high hopes for, and Elysium, which could be a sleeper surprise hit. That's from the guy who made District 9. So that could be pretty good.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. Check out the trailer.
That was
for
a good movie as well.
Yeah, that's a really good film.
Like you said, I'm glad they didn't make a District 10 or something stupid like that.
Hey, have you seen the trailer for it? It looks pretty good. If you haven't seen it, you should go and check it out. I mean, it looks mainstream, so it might not be, as difficult to be as good as District 9 was, but it looks promising, so hopefully it'll be a good film. But yeah, folks, Pacific Rim. You should check it out. Robots kicking ass. I just saw Godzilla Final Wars now, like half an hour ago, after watching Pacific Rim. I don't know, I like it. You remember that, don't you, with Captain Gordon? Do you remember it?
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. It's funny. They're making a new Godzilla movie, which is coming out US is. It's coming out in 2014, so don't know what.
Yeah, because I was thinking while I was watching this movie, what a disaster that original Godzilla movie was. What is rubbish.
Yeah, we used to be fans of the Japanese ones. They're much better.
Yeah, we used to watch the original movies.
Yeah, see, you don't need crazy special effects. You just need something fun.
Yeah. I wanted to say one more thing about Pacific Rim was like you didn't need to worry about people getting killed. It was like mass destruction, but unlike Superman, it's like they evacuated the cities, right? Because they originate in a certain part of the sea, so they can evacuate the surrounding cities really quickly.
Yeah, they can anticipate it, and they were like,
I think that was a really cool touch. So you didn't need to worry about people getting killed.
Yeah, Del Toro, he mentioned it. He said, you don't have to worry about that because the cities will be evacuated. So it's just purely destroying like buildings and stuff. So they have like systems in place. If the monsters are approaching the cities, people are evacuated to these bunkers. It's just cool. See, it's all thought out.
Yeah, it's so good.
Del Toro is a good, smart guy. I really hope this does well. Just I have a lot of respect for him. He's just
I can tell like a lot of love went into this movie.
Yeah,
like the designs of the monsters and the robots was awesome.
Yeah, he's just like this nice guy. He's like a real nerd at heart, but a lot of passion. And he came up with these cool characters, and he's really put a lot of love into it. Like I heard that loads of crazy things about this film. Like he built like the actual heads to full size, and
I saw that on YouTube. He actually built it was like a 4-story high.
Yeah, and it would move around, and the actors would be thrown around. Then I heard that he built like a mini city in Hong Kong, like 4 blocks, and destroyed it all. And then like the post-production conversion to 3D, normally apparently it takes 8 to 12 weeks, but he insisted, and in the end it took over 40 weeks because he just wanted everything to be perfect, just as he wanted, how he'd seen it in his mind. So, that kind of attention to detail, that really actually caring about making a good film, it's lost. So much of the time it's just big budget films trying to cash in, like crap like Lone Ranger and stuff like that. But this guy, is meticulous, film made out of love and passion, and it deserves respect, and it should be watched by as many people as possible.
Yeah. The only people that aren't going to like it are whiny jackasses. So watch it if you're not a whiny jackass.
Well, then why did you like it?
What do you mean? I thought the only people that aren't... I just got it. I'm an idiot. Yeah. So yeah, pretty cool, man. So what else is happening? Anything
Anything going down?
Not much. I'm moving soon to a new job, new area, and I went and saw a few flats, and I can't believe the way some people live. So that was a bit of a disaster. I went to look at some flats, and they were nice flats, but the people living in those flats at the moment are like scumbags. I can't believe people live like that. Like, it was just pure filth. So I didn't even want to look around the flats. I was like, yeah, this is disgusting. I'm out of here.
Nice.
Ugh.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that with our
It's horrible.
listeners. So I think we're going to wrap it up, guys. So there you go, Pacific Rim, biggest and best movie this summer. Everyone, you need to watch it. And we'll catch you in the next podcast, whenever that'll be. And what are we going to discuss next time? We'll give the listeners a heads up.
Soon?
I don't know, Wolverine. I think that's coming out end of July. Anything
We'll
else?
see something.
We'll see something. It may not be Wolverine. I probably will watch it. I will watch it because I saw this clip, like this teaser, like of one of the action scenes, which looks quite interesting. So I probably will watch it. But there you go, Pacific Rim. So take it easy, guys. Remember, if you've liked what you've heard, subscribe to us, like us. Check out our Facebook page, which is at facebook.com/Maximum Extreme Podcast. And of course, our website, www.maximumextreme.net. You've been listening to the Maximum Extreme Podcast. Later, guys. Bye.
See ya.